my friends. It is time for my December candle chat. This is a series that I typically like to do twice a month on my channel. However, the last couple of months have been a little bit busy. Haven't been able to sit down and film it twice a month. But typically, this is a series where I like to just sit down. I share with you the candles that are currently in my burn rotation. I give you some post-burn thoughts. I also sometimes like to take the time to share any new candles that have come into my collection. So today I actually have two pretty big candles to share with you, and those I will do at the very end of this video. But yeah, this is just a fun little grab a drink, grab a snack, let's settle in. I know the weather is pretty chilly for a lot of people. I'm wearing my little cozy Costco jacket. It's chilly here this morning for me here in Arizona. I know it's not chilly for a lot of you guys in other parts of the country that actually experience winter, although we're not technically in winter yet, almost, but you guys know what I mean. I just want this to be a video where it's like sitting down, talking to a friend. I don't really have any friends in real life who enjoy candles as much as a lot of you do. So I feel like this is just an opportunity, like I said, usually twice a month for me to sit down and just chat about wax with all of you. So if you like this video, please make sure you hit thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. But let's go ahead and talk about some of the candles that I have been burning because I'm having some good good experiences. I'm also having some that are just kind of like but I also have maybe some like fragrance combinations to share with you. So we are going to dive right on into it. Let's go ahead and talk about a Homeworx candle that I have been burning. And this is one of my all-time favorite, if not my favorite, Homeworx Christmas fragrance. Now, there is another candle that they had out a couple of years ago. I haven't seen it make a return in the 4-wick, and that was Season's Greetings. I bought that a couple of years ago in one of the discount retailers, and it didn't perform well for me, but I love the fragrance on cold. However, this is a fragrance that I believe was first released in 2022, and it has made its way back now the last 2 years. This is Fireside Christmas Tree. Fragrance notes in this candle are Fraser Fir, fresh pine needle, charred firewood, and dark balsam. Now, if you've been with my channel any length of time, you guys should hear those fragrance notes and not be surprised at all as to why I like this candle, because there's a lot of accords in here that I typically like to gravitate towards. Fir. I love fir tree. It's a very warm, cozy, inviting tree scent. I like pine needles, but they can't get too astringent. And I feel like the pine needle in this fragrance is balanced out by the fir, like the woody warmth of a fir note, as well as a little bit of like a charred firewood. You guys know I love me a good kind of like smoky type of fragrance. Oh man, and this one, oh, it's just so, so good. Now, I did mention that the fir note I pick up in here is very similar to, I think there was one called, I'm blanking on it right now. It's like fir and vetiver, woodland fir and vetiver. I can't remember what it was called. I did do a review on it, and I did like that fragrance. And I said that people who like the fir note in this candle but don't want that charred element, it was Highland Fir and Vetiver. That's what it was called. You would probably like the Highland Fir and Vetiver candle a little bit more, but it's that same fir note, a little bit of earthiness to it. This one is just so good. I have been burning this. I actually have 2 of these in my collection, so I do burn them at the same time, one out here in the open concept, one in my bedroom. Strength and throw has been very good on this, as well as the overall performance. The wicks I have been trimming. They're not falling over and getting too lengthy, but this one has just been so good for me. I would give strength and throw on this one. This is a solid 8 in terms of that. I can definitely smell it all throughout the open concept. It throws into my kitchen and I smell it well. It's just, it's just so great. And can we just applaud that they finally got rid of that like white half wrap, finally went full wrap? Because I always loved the label on this, but I was like, gosh, why won't they just make it the full label? It would be so pretty when it's lit up. Sure enough, it is a stunning beauty there. Let's go ahead and talk about a Bath & Body Works candle that I was so disappointed that it did not show up for Candle Day this year. I am still holding out hope that maybe they will release it in another winter launch. Are they doing that, you guys? Chime in. Those of you who are more Bath & Body Works faithful people, let me know what is coming down the pipeline. I know I could check out Life Inside the Page. Honestly, you guys, my life is just so busy right now that I'm not spending a ton of time like scrolling Instagram and getting all of the latest and greatest info. So if any of you guys have happened to see if this fragrance is making a return, please let me know because it has not shown up and I'm just like slowly finding myself not wanting to burn this as much because I don't know if it's coming back. This is my beloved Winter White Woods from Bath and Body Works. I did have one in my collection from last year. The fragrance notes on this are glistening icicles, dried cedarwood bark, spiced sandalwood. And I never really understand what they mean by the glistening icicles. I mean, that's a fragrance note, but oh my goodness, this candle to me, it's the sandalwood and the cedarwood together on this. That there is a core memory that is unlocked when I smell this. There was the Christmas tree lots when I was growing up in Southern California. Yeah, we didn't go out traipsing out into the woods, cutting down our own Christmas trees, not us city slickers. But this reminds me of going to the Christmas tree lot, getting out in the evening. It was dark. There was moisture on the ground because they were keeping like the trees, they were keeping them watered. But that is what this fragrance smells like. And it's not just me. My husband says the same thing. Like when he smells us, he's like, oh, yeah, that's what it totally reminds me of. Oh, I love this fragrance so much. And I really wish Bath and Body Works would please bring it back. Bath and Body Works. I know you probably don't watch my channel that much. I don't even give you a ton of love, so it wouldn't hurt my feelings if you don't. But please, please, please bring back Winter White Woods. This is just such a great fragrance. Strength and throw on this one has also been pretty good. I would give it about a 7 in terms of strength and throw. I would like it to be just slightly stronger, but I love burning this candle. It's such a great like woody tree type of fragrance without there being any kind of like pine needle. It's definitely more like sophisticated. Oh, it's just amazing. I have been burning it. I didn't pull it out here because I did talk about it in my last candle chat. I did bring out, did I talk about it in my last candle chat? I think I did. Scarlet Woods. I did go ahead. I like to pair this with Scarlet Woods. I do also like to burn this fragrance with, where is it here? Oh, I didn't pull that one out either, I don't think. Anyways, I do like burning this one with pretty much anything. It's just a great fragrance to have in the old collection, and I wish that it would come back so I could add another one. All right, let's talk about a limited edition country candle that I do believe is out of stock. And truthfully, you guys, the reason why I purchased this candle was strictly for the packaging to begin with, because my son loves trains. He is a total train nut. My dad, who passed away in July of 2023, also loved trains. And so anytime I see Christmas packaging with a train on it, it's just like, it just makes me feel a certain kind of way. And so when I saw that Kringle Candle was releasing this called the Kringle Express, I knew that I wanted to get it. Fragrance notes on this candle are vanilla, peppermint, fruit, and amber. And let me tell you, not only do I love the packaging, I love this fragrance. If you love a good peppermint vanilla type of scent, you will love this one. Now, funny thing is that I do have to tell you, there is something in this fragrance when I first light it up, my smoke alarm goes off every single time. Every single time I have lit it up, I'm like, what is going on there? And a few times I've forgotten that, and I've lit this candle up at like 6 o'clock in the morning and the smoke alarm goes off. I feel so bad for my family. I'm like, oops. But I love this fragrance. It's sophisticated peppermint. There is also it says fruit and amber. Amber is a perfumey note to me, and I don't really detect any amber in here. There is a little bit of fruitiness in here. I'm not necessarily sure what fruit it is. It's not like a citrus, maybe some type of berry, but it just lends a little bit of extra sweetness to this. To me, this fragrance is predominantly peppermint with a little bit of vanilla in here. It's a very good gourmand peppermint. It is so well done. And the strength and throw on this one has been pretty good for me. A good solid 8 in my home. Fills up the open concept. Really been loving it. I do believe that it is sold out, but this is a fragrance that even if I don't finish burning it this holiday season, I will go ahead and just put it back into my collection and bring it out again next Christmas season because I have really, really been enjoying it. And the fragrance that I've enjoyed pairing it with the most has been Dalgona from Kringle Candle. This is one of their reserve line candles. I do believe that this one is still in stock. I'm not sure. Fragrance notes on Dalgona are not listed on the bottom here. Well, that's just dandy. So this is actually my second purchase of Dalgona. I did already burn through one of these. I think I purchased the initial one when this was launched back in, was it early 2023 when they did that like whole gourmand collection? It was in like March, April, somewhere around there. And Oh, I love this one. You would think, I mean, Dalgona, I believe, is a coffee drink, and there is an element of coffee in here, but it's not like a very rich espresso type of coffee. It's a very like almost like creamy type of coffee scent. There is a chocolate. I smell more chocolate in here than I do coffee, but it's almost more like a milk chocolate. It's not a super dense, rich, decadent chocolate. It's kind of comes across a little bit more milk chocolate to me. I love this scent. And of course, pairing this with a peppermint has been wonderful. It gives me a little bit different vibe than the peppermint hot cocoa scent that I have from Country Candle. That is also in my collection. But the two scents really complement each other well. This fragrance is also performing very well for me. I've got a couple, you guys, that are like really like hard hitting powerhouses, and then I've got a couple of like womp womps in here for you. But this one has been very strong for me. Again, another one that I would give a solid 8.5 in terms of strength and throw. Even when I burn this one in my closed concept master bedroom, it does want to wrap around and start throwing out here into the living room. So very nice fragrance. I've really been enjoying it. If you happen to have your eye on this candle, I would highly recommend it. Have I done a post-burn review on this one? If I have, I will make sure that it's linked down below. As always with this candle chat, you guys, all of the candles that I am talking about will be listed and linked down below with timestamps. And if I have done any kind of dedicated reviews on them, you will find that there as well. But love this fragrance. Another, let's go ahead and talk about, we'll talk about another Kringle candle that has been, that I have been burning right now. And it is part of some new candles that were sent to me just last week. This is Tranquil Winter. Tranquil Winter. Say that a little bit better there, Katie. Fragrance notes on here are fir, herbal, apple, spice, wood, and musk. And when I did that little ranking video, when I was previewing the fragrances, like giving you guys some cold sniff impressions, I had actually put this as being like my number 2 fragrance. I have to say, as of the time that I am burning right now, I think this one has kind of moved up to number 1. Now, that being said, I haven't burned the number 1 fragrance, which is Champagne Bliss. I haven't burned that one yet, but this is not failing my expectations. This is a very nice fragrance. I get the fir note, and there is apple in the middle of this, but this is not like spiced apple from the fall. It's definitely, the apple lends some sweetness to this fragrance. But this is definitely more of a winter type of scent. I don't typically, when I smell apple, I will think of the fall or maybe like late summer transitional scents, but that's not what I'm getting here. This is definitely very much a winter scent. I get the fir tree. I get a little bit of like a cool air vibe, but there is that apple note in the middle and a little bit of like woodiness, a little bit of woodiness in the base. Now, I tend to like that with fir notes, but this is a really well done candle. I am really enjoying it. I've only burned it 2 times so far, so obviously I'm nowhere near getting a post-burn review done on this one. Strength and throw, I will say I do want it to be a little bit stronger so far. I would give it so far maybe like a 6.5. I smell it a little bit better when I'm burning it in my bedroom. Out here in the open concept, the fragrance gets a little bit lost. But that being said, you guys, I'm also in a place where I am trying to burn all of the holiday fragrances that I love. And I'm probably not burning this candle as long as I probably could. But stay tuned. I will give some actual like dedicated post-burn reviews on this candle hopefully soon. The fragrance that I am enjoying pairing that with is one from Bath and Body Works. I did just do a dedicated post-burn review on this earlier this week, and I said that this was the surprise find for me from Bath and Body Works Candle Day last weekend. It is Evergreen and Fir, which a lot of you guys have notified me that this is actually a repackage of Evergreen. I never had that candle before. Fragrance notes here are white fir needles, fresh cedarwood, sweet sap. Now, because I did already do a post-burn review on this, I'm not going to go too far into detail, but if you are somebody who loves a good fir note and you like a little bit of sweetness of sap coming through, you're going to like this one a lot. I wish the strength and throw was a little bit higher on it. Right now, it's only at about like maybe a 7 for me. I want it to be a little bit more, but that being said, it's burning hot, it's burning fast. You're going to need to trim the wicks on it, but the fragrance itself is just a good tree fragrance. Like I said, burning well with that Tranquil Winter. I say like I said a lot. I'm sorry, you guys. When I watch back on my editing, I'm always like, you need to stop doing that, along with the ums and all of the things that I nitpick myself over. Here's the candle that I said I was burning with the Winter White Woods. I don't know why I didn't see it earlier, but there it was. Let's go ahead and talk about a Homeworx candle. This is Winter Fireside. Now, we all know my love for Winter Fireside. It is a perennial staple in my winter collection. I love Winter Fireside. If you are somebody who loves a good kind of smoky scent, but this also has some mulling spices and clove. It's very, if you liked Bath and Body Works Pumpkin Bonfire, this is a fragrance that would be in your wheelhouse. Fragrance notes here are sultry incense, smoked firewood, rich clove buds, and mulled spices. Now, here's the thing. This one, I don't know what has happened, you guys. I have been purchasing this candle since 2018. I love this fragrance. I say it was my gateway fragrance to the world of Homeworx. Love the ambiance when it's lit. Love the fragrance. It was a powerhouse. This year's version, which by the way, my pour date on this one is June 25th of 2024. This one is struggling mightily with the wicks. I have not trimmed the wicks. They are very puny. It's struggling. It to this day has not achieved a completely full wax pool. I did have one burn where the wicks extinguished themselves. And I did have one of you message me over on Instagram and said that you were having a similar experience with this candle and you're not as familiar with the Homeworx brand. And you were like, is this something that I should come to expect? I don't know. It sounds to me like there was a batch deficiency with this candle. So yeah, what I did most recently was I just poured out the wax from my last burn, hoping that it will correct itself. But unfortunately, because the wicks are not performing well on this one, it's not performing what I have typically experienced. Usually this candle is anywhere between like a 7 and an 8 in terms of strength and throw, and this one has been around like a 5. It has not been performing well for me. I've only been able to burn it in my master bedroom in order to get some type of semblance of strength and throw out of it, to even notice it. So it's been very, very disappointing for me because I do love this fragrance so, so much. It's just a classic scent. And like I said, I really enjoy pairing it with the Winter White Woods, but this year's version, not doing so hot for me. I hope you guys can't hear my stomach growling. Maybe you will. It's approaching lunchtime as I'm filming this, but I'm trying to get it filmed before my kids get home from school. So you are just going to have to forgive me here. Another fragrance that I currently have burning, I actually have 2 candles currently burning, and I wanted to touch on them before I forget about them because I tend to do that. The candle that I am currently burning here in my living room is Country Candle Wishing for Christmas. I will make sure that I insert some B-roll here so that way you can see what it looks like. You guys, I love this fragrance. It's another one that is in my annual Christmas lineup. It is essentially sugar cookies mixed with pine tree, but not overly astringent pine tree. It is like the most perfect pine sugar cookie fragrance. Oh, it is incredible. And I will tell you that these country jars sometimes are very hit and miss in terms of strength and throw for me in terms of the performance. Right now, I have burned about a third of the wax through on this vessel. I will say that the longer that this burns, the greater the strength and throw. I do find that to be the case oftentimes with a lot of the country candles. The regular Kringle wax formula, like their white soy wax, tends to start throwing a little bit quicker for me, whereas the colored wax I notice takes a little bit longer. I don't know what the science is behind that. But what I will tell you, I'm looking at it right now. Flames are pretty decent on it. I will say it right now. I did trim them, and I don't know if maybe I trimmed them too short because they're not getting puny on me, but they're also not as big, I guess. Which again, you don't always want that because you can get sooty wax, sooty vessels. But strength and throw on this candle has been pretty good for me. I would give it a solid 7.5, I would say, which is pretty good with the country lineup. But I just love that fragrance so much. So I am currently burning that one. Another fragrance that I have burning that I don't have in front of me right now is Christmas from Kringle Candle. Love, love, love that scent. It is a perennial good tree fragrance. If you happen to like the Times Fraser Fir scent, then you will like that one because they're very, very similar fragrances. Just a good warm fir type of scent. But it's just so cozy and inviting. So that has been another fragrance that I've been burning. I wish I would have had it in the 4-wick. I think it's sold out. Is it sold out? I don't know. It keeps coming in and out of stock. That is a fragrance that I do see myself purchasing in a 4-wick eventually, but right now I have it in a 2-wick. I did have one in my collection that I purchased last year. Just be aware, you guys, that that fragrance, as well as like Wishing for Christmas, a lot of these Christmas fragrances usually go on sale 50% off the day after Christmas over at Kringle. So you might want to keep your eyes peeled if you've had your eye on them, maybe want to stash them away for next year. But those are two fragrances that I would highly, highly recommend from Kringle. In fact, those are the two that if you, when people ask me like, what are my all-time favorites from Kringle, those are the two that I always recommend. But I'm getting pretty good strength and throw. Goodness, my belly needs to calm down. It keeps growling. Those are two that I really, really love. Another fragrance that I have really enjoyed pairing with that Wishing for Christmas is a fragrance from Caramel Sundays. Now, I did do a dedicated post-burn review on Caramel Sundays Truffle Butter Cookie, which I will talk about here in just a moment. That candle will be part of the restock that they are doing. I'm planning to upload this video on Saturday, December 14th. But they are doing another restock on December 15th. But the only candle that I'm going to talk about here today that will be part of that restock is the Truffle Butter Cookie. However, during their last drop, which was in November, I did purchase the Perfect Christmas. And I don't have the fragrance notes in front of me. In fact, you know what? Hold up real quick. I'm going to go grab my little handy dandy notebook so that way I can share the fragrance notes. All right, I am back. The fragrance notes on the Perfect Christmas are very similar to the ones from Bath and Body Works. Top notes of fresh pine needles, mid notes of sweet cinnamon sugar, base note of roasted marshmallow and caramel. And I will tell you, this fragrance is very, very similar to its Bath and Body Works cousin. However, I will say that this candle, to my nose, is not as the Bath and Body Works version. I actually have it in the hand soap and I like it there, but when I burn it in the candle format, it's too strong for me. It gives me a headache. I'm not saying that that's for everybody. In fact, one of my really close friends who normally does not reach for those type of fragrances, she's like, I love this one. And I was like, okay, good. I'm glad you like it. She's got a bigger home though and more open space. I just think in my space, in my home, it's too much and it comes across just too strong for me. This is a little bit more, the pine is a little bit more toned down, but it's noticeable. And you do get some of that like more authentic marshmallow scent in this fragrance. It has been performing quite well for me. I would say this one is probably around like a 7 in terms of strength and throw, but I have really been enjoying pairing this, like I said, with the Wishing for Christmas. If you want like that good like pine and gourmand, like vanilla, marshmallow, sugar cookie type of vibe. Oh, it is so yummy. And I just will probably put on weight just smelling it. The other fragrance from Caramel Sundays that I have really been enjoying, and I see this being a good fragrance, not just for right now, but also going into January. This is Toasted Pinecone. This actually would even be a good fall fragrance, to be honest with you. Toasted Pinecone fragrance notes are pine and vanilla. Those are the top notes. Mid notes of sandalwood and base notes of crisp outdoors and ozone. And I mentioned in my cold sniff that this actually does smell like a pine cone. But there's a little bit of sweetness to it, not a gourmand sweetness, but like an outdoorsy type of sweetness. Maybe a little hint of like sappiness, I would say. You get some of that pine. And like I said, the vanilla, I think, lends a little bit of like sweetness in there. Ozone, you get kind of an outdoor element to it. Sandalwood is in there, which we all know after I just raved about Winter White Woods. I do think that sandalwood is a note that I really enjoy, particularly in more like outdoorsy type of fragrances. But this one has been also performing well for me. I would give this one also a good like 7 in terms of strength and throw. I've really been enjoying it. And then one of the gourmand scents that I picked up is Hansel and Gretel, or Hansel and Gretel, however we're going to pronounce this. Fragrance notes on here are top notes of sticky bun and ginger, mid notes of molasses, sugar, and cinnamon, base notes of vanilla frosting, clove, nutmeg, chestnut, and butter. And this to me, you guys, this smells like I'm making like monkey bread in the morning. Like if you've ever made that, you know, for your kids. Oh, it's so, so good. So delicious. That is what this smells like to me. I have been loving it. Oh, amazing fragrance. And this one has been very, very strong for me, which I did suspect would be the case because there's, you know, cinnamon, nutmeg, molasses, clove. Those tend to be very, very heavy fragrances. This is a very dense fragrance. So these are all fragrances that if they were to be relaunched, I would assume probably not until for like another year, but just kind of like bookmark that in your brain. If you're ever interested in purchasing from Caramel Sundays, they are an independent brand based out of Georgia. They do monthly candle drops. Essentially, you've got to be really on it. I did mention my technique for shopping from them in the review that I did for Truffle Butter Cookie. So you can go ahead and check out that review if you want more tips and techniques on how to get what you want when those candles drop, because they are very Hunger Games like. You can go ahead and check out that review. But if you did not check out the review, this is Truffle Butter Cookie. Now, this is the candle that will be restocking tomorrow during their restock event. And I will tell you, the fragrance notes on this one are brown sugar and maple. Those are the top notes. Mid notes of coconut, butterscotch, base notes of sugar cookie. And I mentioned in that video that this is one of those candles that I don't particularly love on cold sniff, because I do detect like the mingle of like butterscotch, a little bit of coconut. It's not summery type of coconut, coconut in like a gourmand type of scent. I don't always love this one on cold. However, when I burn this candle, it completely transforms. It is a very decadent, rich, yummy cookie. Like I literally just want to like bite into this. It sounds like it would just be like one of those things that is just so buttery and so gooey and so fattening, and just like the most refreshing thing to take a glass of milk and wash it down with. That is what this smells like. A lot of people have asked me for a comparison between this and the Bath and Body Works version. You guys know I didn't care for the Bath and Body Works version. Ironically, I liked that one on cold and didn't like it upon burn. I like this one not so much on cold, but I do like it a lot upon burn. And strength and throw on this candle has been phenomenal for me. This one has been a good solid 9.5. I was able, one morning I was burning this. It was the only candle in my house, and I had it burning out here in the living room. I could smell it in my master bedroom, and the fragrance did linger for 3 hours after I extinguished it, because I had left and gone somewhere and I came back and I could still smell it in the house. So I would give a high 2 thumbs up to this candle. If it is one that you have your eye on for the restock, definitely buy it. They retail for $31.99, but that does include shipping. And if you use the code newbie, you'll get 10% off. It's not an affiliate. They don't even, I mean, I think they kind of know who I am, but like they don't do PR or anything like that. So this is candle that I spent my own money on, and I would highly recommend to all of you. A fragrance that I thought I was going to love, and if you caught my Bath and Body Works haul, you guys know that I actually purchased this because my husband liked this fragrance on cold sniff. But when I did my haul video, my friend Greg commented that he didn't really like this one upon burn. And Greg, I gotta say, I kind of agree with you. This is cinnamon sugared pecans. Fragrance notes on here are warm cinnamon, toasted pecans, and brown sugar. Now this one on cold, it smells really good. You get kind of some of that nuttiness. It's kind of cinnamon forward. But when this candle was burning, first off, I could barely smell it, which is ironic for a cinnamon-based candle, because like I just said, some of these other candles that I was just talking about have cinnamon and all of that in there, and I can usually smell those really well, but this one, not so much. Very disappointing. It's not throwing very well for me. I'm also getting kind of these larger wicks, which again, that's totally fine. I would rather have large wicks that I need to trim, but they actually burn hot, as opposed to puny wicks. But the thing that it's just not throwing really well. And when it does burn, I don't know. It's just kind of to me. So I don't know. I think I'm not going to burn this one again. I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to take this one back and exchange it either for another Evergreen Fir, if they happen to have that one in stock, or the other candle that I mentioned in that haul that I was on the fence about purchasing was Vanilla Balsam. Maybe I'll go ahead and purchase Vanilla Balsam instead, like exchange this one for that. So I'll keep you guys posted if I do end up doing that. Let's go ahead and talk about another Kringle candle that was sent to me in PR, and I have started to burn it because I know a lot of people are very interested in thoughts on it. This is Gingerbread and Frosting. Fragrance notes on here are pastry, vanilla, spice, sweet, berry, and cream. And I will tell you that this still is not a fragrance. When it comes to gingerbread, my favorite take on gingerbread is usually how Harry Slatkin does gingerbread. I love a lot of his gingerbread fragrances, the Homeworx lineup. This one, to me, this is a good scent. Again, this is another one of those fragrances that I think I like a little bit more when it is burning than when it is cold. This smells very much like frosting. It's frosting, but there's like some spice in it. Maybe almost slightly sour to my nose. There's something in here that comes across a little bit sour to my nose, and I don't know why. It just does, almost like lactonic. It says spice, but we don't know what spice it is in there. And I think it might be whatever they are using as like a pastry note in here, as well as they say berry, which I don't really get like an overly like dominant berry note in here. But I do think that it's whatever they're using as a pastry accord. Sometimes the pastry accord in Kringle candles knock it out of the park for me. And other times I'm like, I don't like it. It comes across a little bit sour. But I will say that this is one that I do like more when it is burning. I have been enjoying it with some of the tree fragrances, as well as like the Hansel and Gretel. That's kind of like a monkey bread. I do like pairing kind of like a frosting scent with it. It's not a straight up buttercream frosting. It's definitely more it's got a little bit more complexity and lactonic notes to it, I would say, in this frosting. I don't love it. I will tell you, I don't love it. I like it, but it's not going to be a repurchase for me. I could see myself finishing this one, maybe, but also if somebody came into my house and loved the scent enough and was like, oh, can I have that? I'd be like, sure, you can go ahead and take it. That's kind of like how I feel about this scent. It's okay to me. Now, that being said, I've only burned this candle 3 times, and I have seen some of my fellow reviewers say that this one transforms a little bit more the further on you get into it. So I will keep an eye out for that, and I will make sure that I do a dedicated review on it. Strength and throw, I will say so far has been very, very good on this one for me. Solid 7.5, 8 in terms of strength and throw so far on this. I burned it actually here in my guest bathroom, and it was throwing into my daughter's room all this morning. When I burned it in my bedroom, it was wanting to throw outside of the room. So it's projecting quite well for me so far. But like I said, it's not a fragrance that I am just thoroughly in love with. And then the last fragrance that any of you who have been with my channel for a while, you will not be surprised at all to see in my lineup. It is a Yankee, good old classic paraffin candle. If you've been with my channel for a while, do we know what this is? Drum roll, please. Home for the Holidays. Now, indulge me here for just a moment. I have had a lot of new subscribers since the last Christmas season. So, Home for the Holidays is a fragrance that is the most nostalgic Christmas fragrance for me. I did mention earlier on that my dad passed away in July of 2023. And also, my mom passed away almost 8 years ago from cancer. So, at 40 years old, I actually, by the time I was 38, I had already lost both of my parents. I do have a sister, and I do have wonderful extended family. But around the holidays, I miss my parents, you know, and I was very fortunate to grow up in a loving home, not a perfect home, but a loving home. And I just have so many wonderful memories tied to this fragrance because this is the candle that my mom burned year in, year out, every Christmas. No matter where we were at financially, she made sure she found this candle to burn in our home. In fact, I saw Brett, Philly Candleman, post on his Instagram the other day that he found like one of the old, like circa 1993, 1995 jars of this candle. And this to me is just so nostalgic. There's some balsam in here, there's cedar, there's spice, there's it's so hard for me to just say everything that it is, other than when I smell this, it is my childhood Christmas in a jar. That being said, I wish that they could get this fragrance in like their signature wax because I do enjoy burning that wax formula from Yankee a lot more. Put it in a 3-wick, Yankee. I would love it. I'd probably buy like 20 of them. I'm not even kidding you. I love this fragrance so much, and I'm always paranoid that they're going to get rid of it. I think they did try a couple of years ago to retire it, and like the people revolted. They were like, absolutely not. You better bring that back. We will boycott and never buy from you again, Yankee, if you don't. And so I think they did. They did bring it back because I have seen it available every holiday season, but it's usually only in this format. So what I do, because I don't really get great performance from these single wicks, is I will use one of those Illumina lids, and I do buy 2 of them. So I'll burn one out here in the living room, one in my bedroom. That way I can just get the whole house effect. But oh, it is just the most nostalgic Christmas fragrance for me. Oh my goodness, I'm almost at 35 minutes, and I just have 2 more things to show you guys. So I did want to share with you guys the big candles that I purchased from QVC as part of the Elton John collection. I did tell you guys a couple of weeks ago, was it in, I don't remember what video it was, but I did share with you that Slatkin & Co. had sent me the Elton John advent calendar, as well as the ginger spiced pudding 3-wick candle. And so I went over some of the fragrances in the advent calendar with all of you guys. And I told you that there were 2 fragrances that I was going to purchase larger vessels from that I knew were currently available. So the first one, oh man, I hope I don't can't drop this. The first one that I ordered was the, what was this called? Woodside Holiday Traditions. Now, this is available. This is 50 ounces of wax. It's pretty hefty, and this lid is making me a little bit nervous how it's moving around here. But this is available in a couple of different colors. I went with the gold. I think it's also available in green, silver, and red, maybe. But I went with gold because I felt like that would complement my home aesthetic the best. And I also felt like I could keep burning this after the holidays if I wanted to, or next year around like fall transitional when I was not yet quite decked out for Christmas. I could deck it out for, what is it, when it's around Thanksgiving and when I haven't decorated from fall to Christmas yet, it would still go nicely with my decor. There we go. Spit it out. All right. So this is a 5-wick candle, and you can see I've burned it once so far, and you're going to see that those wicks do need to be trimmed. Can you see that there? Yeah, you can see that pretty well. I do need to trim the wicks, and it still didn't pull completely out. But again, this is a pretty large candle. I think the last time I had this burning, I burned it for maybe about 5 hours. So a lot of these Luxe size candles, you do need to just probably plan to burn them for like a really long time. Don't be going anywhere because you're going to need to let them burn. But I noticed in the little votive, and it's still the same fragrance when it's burning. This is very, very similar. If you love Nest Holiday, I feel like this is Nest Holiday in a 5-wick, to be honest with you. Now we know that Nest is owned by Laura Slatkin, who is married to Harry Slatkin from Slatkin & Co. So it wouldn't surprise me if there was some type of like collaboration here or something. Obviously, this is part of Elton John. I wouldn't be surprised if Elton was like, hey, Harry, like, I like your wife's candle. Let's put that in my collaboration. So I figured that for this Luxe size of candle, especially considering the cost of a lot of Nest single wicks, I think those are up to like $50 right now. I used a coupon, and I think I got this for like maybe like $65. I figured this was probably a better like investment for me when it comes to candles. Candles are not an investment, you guys. Investments make you money, just to let you know. But I figured that that was probably the better route to go in spending my money. Strength and throw on this was around like a 7.5, I would say, but I've only burned it one time so far. So I had to reach down and use all my sore arm strength to pick up this other candle. So I did purchase one of the Luxe candles from QVC here. Oh, what is that? Elton John. And it is the Tangerine Palazzo candle. So this box is obviously a beautiful box that can be used for gifting. I do believe that this fragrance is also now available on the Slatkin & Co website, although I think there was a little bit of mix up during like Black Friday and Cyber Monday because some people saw that it was discounted and then they were able to add like an addition. It was temporarily marked 30% off, and then I think something happened. I don't know if that was a glitch. I didn't know if it was a glitch because they said site-wide 30% off, and then the price went up. I don't know. There was some type of hullabaloo about that. But I actually purchased this from QVC when it was on the TSV. And I hope I'm not making too much noise with my mic here. I'm trying to like turn this around and figure out like what is the best way for me to get this out, because this is a big old mamma jamma here. So, look at this, you guys. Look at how look at how big this is. This is a big candle. And like I said, I did an arm workout yesterday, so my arms are a little bit sore. So the fragrance notes on Tangerine Palazzo are tangerine zest, Italian orange, apricot, and sandalwood. And oh my word, you guys, this fragrance, I smelled it in that little votive, and I love this scent. This I plan to start burning in January. That's one of the perks, I think, of being here in Arizona, is that we typically have weather usually in the like mid to upper 60s as daytime highs in January. So it's still nice enough that I can start burning like some citrus scents. Still cool enough though, where I feel like I can do my tree scents if I want to and all the cozy stuff. But this is so good. This is definitely, you get tangerine in there. It's not a straight up orange scent to me, and maybe a little bit of that apricot, like stone fruit. I don't smell a ton of sandalwood in here. Oh man, but this one is so, so good. And I knew, like, you guys know, I try to be very mindful about my candle collection. But when I smelled this in the little votive and I saw that it was only available in this Luxe size, I was like, yep, I'm still gonna buy it. Like, it just, oh, it smells really, really good. So those are the two. Sorry, I'm gonna put that down here. The two big old Mama Jamma candles that I decided to purchase. I do have a couple of other Homeworx candles on their way to me. They have not arrived yet. They're supposed to be here. Well, at the time this video goes up, they will have arrived, but I pre-film my videos a little bit. Have not arrived yet, but I will make sure to film a Homeworx haul for you. Like I mentioned in my Bath and Body Works haul video, this month is a little bit hectic with my kids' school schedules and myself just trying to, my husband and I trying to embrace all of the holiday traditions and do all of the Christmas parties and all of the things we need to be at. My filming schedule does get a little bit off kilter, but I did want to make sure that I sat down when I had the time to go ahead and film this for all of you. I do still plan to hopefully bring you some year-end type of rankings videos, as well as my normal empties and all of that, as well as, like I said, share that Homeworx haul with you. So make sure you're subscribed to my channel if you want to see all of that. Feel free to comment down below. Have you been burning any of these candles? Did you purchase any of the new Kringle launches? Are you planning to shop caramel sundaes? Are you hearing the hype about them? Where's Winter Whitewood? Let me know if you have any intel on that, please. Please, we need to start the petition for it to come back. Or feel free to comment down below with your most nostalgic holiday fragrance. It could be anything. I'm always curious to know what you guys are all loving. But again, I just want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time with me here today. I do know that this time of year is getting pretty busy for a lot of us. And I do genuinely really appreciate it that you guys take the time to watch any of my videos. This is just a fun little hobby that I started, a couple of years ago. And who knew that there is such a wonderful niche of people in this world who enjoy something very similar. So I do genuinely just want to say thank you very much to all of you guys. And I hope that you guys are having a lovely holiday season. I know that this is a time of year that can be mixed emotions. I just told you, my parents are gone. So I feel that a little bit too, but also I feel very, very tremendously blessed to have my children and my husband and a whole host of extended family and family and friends too. So yeah, you take the good and the bad, but anyways, just wanted to give you guys all very, very warm holiday wishes, no matter what holiday that is that you are celebrating. I personally celebrate Christmas. Whole lot of hope wrapped up in that holiday. So did want to extend those warmest greetings to all of you. So thank you very, very much, you guys. I hope that until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.